Okay, I'm going to call this special meeting of the St. Joseph School District Board of Education to order, October 7th, 6 o'clock. Roll call, please, Donna.
Miss Pasley,
Here.
Mr. Gilmore,
Here.
Miss Witham,
Here.
Mr. Foster,
Here.
Mr. Reader, Miss Williams.
Nobody else is here.
Okay.
Okay, and I would entertain a motion for approval of the agenda as printed.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Gilmore, and a second.
Second.
So Rick motioned and Lori seconded. Did you get that?
I did.
All right. Call for the vote.
Miss Pasley,
Yes.
Mr. Gilmore,
Yes.
Miss Witham,
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Okay, item number 3, items for discussion, van driver / Philippines staff.
Yeah, thank you,
Director.
and I apologize that we're having a special meeting, but you know that we've hired some folks from the Philippines, and Dr. Krause and his team, and all of our schools have been working very diligently to be able to get them to school, but we've had some great luck with getting some of them here. We're still trying to find out exactly the certification and getting them to school. A lot of our staff have been picking them up. We've had administrators picking them up, taking them back. We've got people from the public who have helped do this, but it really has kind of put a burden on some other folks. And so what we're recommending, until several of them can get some driver's licenses and maybe able to purchase a vehicle, we're recommending that we hire a van driver. We've got an extra van, pay them roughly the same rate we did for when we drove homeless kids, had to pick up homeless kids, and we did that ourselves, so we have a salary schedule that we can put them on. And to me, it's just a real positive. We've got these folks coming in, they've got some good skills. You know, from everything I've heard, even though it's been a little bit taxing on Dr. Krause and his team to be able to get some of the things done to get them completely ready to roll, we do have some quality folks that are coming in, and this could be a real positive for us to work with Teach USA or some other group like we've been working with, to try to attract and retain some quality staff members, even if they're coming from someplace else. So to me, this is the benefit, to be able to get them there. It takes a burden off of some of the other folks in our community and some of our staff members that have been really trying to help them, and is a positive in helping support those. So I think Dr. Krause has put together the job description that's there, and then also has here for you the pay ranges. And I guess I would tell you that we're probably looking at that pay range number 2, which is about $16.47 an hour. My guess is it's about 3 hours a day, an hour and a half in the morning to pick them up, drop them off, pick somebody else up, drop them off, because they're at different levels. Same thing in the afternoon. So we see about 3 hours a day is what we're estimating it'll probably take.
Do we already have someone hired for
Yeah,
this?
well, we haven't
I
hired
saw it
them.
was posted.
We posted it. Gabe has done some interviews, and I think are there 2 people, Brian, that are going to do it?
Well, I'm not sure if he was planning to offer to both, but he had 2 that he thought would be
Yeah.
acceptable for the position. I don't know if he's planning to offer to one or to both.
Did we go through Apple Bus because I noticed they have to have that kind of certification to
The
school
only,
bus endorsement?
the only thing we used Apple Bus for was to get an idea for the pay rate.
Okay.
What Apple's.
We posted it and got the applicants ourselves.
Okay, because I saw it school bus endorsement, so I just thought maybe we went through them. Okay, I think I had asked you a question in an email when you brought this to us, but I think you just answered it. My concern is I want this to be a limited time period until, like everything. Once they can get their certification, we no longer have to pay for a sub with them. Once they get this, then we no longer have to do this. So I would most definitely think this is something that we would want to put a time on.
Well, I can't give you an exact time, because as Brian can tell you, anytime we try to do some paperwork, whether it's Social Security, certification, whatever it is, we think it's going to be X amount of time, and it would be exponentially added to it. And so it's taking some of our folks longer. So to get a driver's license or save up enough money to get a car, those type of things, I can't guarantee how long that will take. I don't see this going on into infinity. I believe it's finite. But we do need a couple of them probably to be able to drive, because they're in different locations in town. So not just one person could run around. because they have to get to their job too, so.
So I guess my time period, I'm thinking by the end, I mean, this would be for this school year, and then we would revisit
Yeah.
it for next school year.
Sure.
A reasonable amount of time would be by the end of the school year, maybe.
Well, we can always bring it back to you and give you an update on where they are, and just like anything else, if it's something we no longer need, because they've gotten the ability to do some of these things, we would make that adjustment. You're not necessarily required, since it's an hourly employee, it's based upon the need that we would have.
Okay. Yeah, I guess my, too many years of teacher leadership in me screams, yes, we may need to help these people because we've taken on the opportunity of bringing them to St. Joseph and hopefully fill some hard to fill jobs. At the same time, I can hear staff saying, we're providing this for this and we don't provide transportation. And
Well,
maybe that
I
won't
won't say
be-
that's necessarily true, because I guarantee if we have staff members who've had issues, there are other staff members or administrators who've been picking them up whenever they've had. We're just
Okay.
saying this has been an ongoing issue since the start of the year, so we're just trying to solve a problem that's there.
Okay.
And I would tell you that, I would hope that if somebody had a huge issue and they were employed with us and they said, hey, I'm having a problem, they'd come to us and we'd try to find a solution.
Okay,
for
that's what I want to hear, because that will come up. I know it will as a experienced teacher leader, and that's a great thing to say, that if any of our staff members have an issue with transportation to work, that we can work something
them.
out.
Well, we would try to work with them the best we can, and I think having been an educator, I've had flat tires and I was running late, somebody swung by and picked me up when my car was in the shop. Those things happen. This is probably quite a bit above and beyond that, because we're waiting on paperwork and other things that have to happen. But again, it's something that will be reevaluated and adjusted if we need to make an adjustment.
I'm good then.
Are
I'm
these,
done.
are these professionals, Dr. Kraus, are you anticipating that they are likely, it is their intention to be here for a while? I mean, beyond this year, or do you have a guess?
I don't really know. All of them, I think, are gonna be in the situation where they're gonna be unable to get a regular certificate. They're all gonna get provisional certificates and have to take X amount of classes. Like the one guy, the only one of the 6 so far that has his certificate has to take, I believe, 15 hours of classes in the next 2 years to get a regular certificate. So I don't know what the long-term,
Well, and the other
Process
issue, of
is-
course, is work visa.
Right.
They're here on a work visa, correct me if I'm wrong, and those only have a certain amount of time
Right.
as well. So I can't say again that they're here for their lifetime, but if they're doing a good job and we can work with them and keep them certified and they're doing what they need to do, I don't see any reason they won't be here to the end of their work visa. And it may not work out for all of them, because this is a different educational environment here in the United States than it is in the Philippines.
That's my huge concern with it, is classroom management. But again, that's coming from my background, but
But
we
that's
won't
the same
know
type,
until we
that's the same
try.
type of thing even with a new teacher.
Exactly.
And it could be, no matter what, I think we're trying to find ways to fill the gaps that we have in finding quality people.
Sure.
And if this is a stream to be able to do that, whether it's through the Philippines or Africa or Europe, or, if people want to come, I think we wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't at least take a look at if this is a successful opportunity.
Well, and the difference between them and a new teacher here in the United States is culture. And in their culture, education is revered, and it is a privilege to be in school, and behaviors aren't gonna be what they're gonna encounter in any school district, but particularly ours, since that's where we're hiring them, and that's gonna be a culture shock for them. And then, but if they're having to take classes, then I'm assuming maybe they'll have some classroom management classes as part of that
And we
certification.
should come back and re-update you on where they are moving forward, because some of this isn't necessarily pertinent to this topic, but
Right.
just like the Grow Your Own program, this is something that I think we probably will have to update you on how successful it's being or how successful it's not being, and we'll have to evaluate it.
Yes, so going back to the van driver position, sorry, I got off
You're
topic. Rick or David, do you have any comments or questions for Dr. Van Zyl or Dr. Kraus?
This probably isn't about the driving, but I wanted to know, where are they at on the pay scale ladder, the teachers? Where are they at? Do they come in as someone who graduated from college and has their teaching certificate, is that their pay?
Yes, they'd be on our regular teacher salary
Schedule.
schedule. Yeah, they'd be placed like anyone else based on their experience and their education level.
And I guess I'm kind of curious as to why we had to go to get people from the Philippines to teach. Are there not people available for the positions we wanted to
I'll
fill?
give you one example. There were 54 chemistry and physics openings in the state last year, and there were 4 students who graduated with college or with chemistry or physics degrees.
So these are necessary areas that we couldn't
Yeah.
find.
I think we're looking at upper level math and science,
Well,
right?
it's just like anything else, we're trying to find quality people to fill positions. And so we just don't say, hey, we're gonna select from this particular group. If they apply, they go through the evaluation process and the screening process, just like everybody else.
And they meet the,
Those administrators that hired them felt that they were the best
okay,
candidates.
because
that they had
I've
for those
worked
positions.
with engineers that had degrees overseas, and it's not quite the same as what it is here.
There's a lot of things not the same in the United States
It's
as
not the
compared
same
to other
level
countries. Yeah.
of,
Well, there was a big concern that we had one who was in the teaching position in one of our South End schools that didn't speak English, but that's not true.
No.
I mean, but you're gonna hear those things, you know, and I'm
Yeah.
like, surely we didn't hire someone who doesn't speak English and themselves need a translator. That wasn't true,
Yeah,
so.
and I guess I would bring you back, yeah, you need that. I'll bring you back to what your agenda item is.
David, any comment or question?
I think it's pretty cut and dry. Obviously, we're in high demand for teachers, and there's a shortage. So for whatever reason, we're talking about 2 drivers, and how many teachers from the Philippines do we currently have?
We have 6
6, okay.
That are here now or that are in the
that
process
have
of
been in the
coming?
process.
Okay, in the process.
They're all here now.
They're all
they're all
here
here.
now, and that's all of them.
Now, do you think that these positions primarily will go to high school?
They're all at the high
spots, or
school level.
They're all in high school?
Well,
Well, no, we
all
have a
at the
middle
secondary
school.
level.
Secondary level.
Secondary
Secondary
level.
level, middle school or high school.
Do you think it's more beneficial for it to be at the secondary level, or does it matter?
I don't know that it matters.
I think just like with anything, it'd be the quality of person.
Yeah.
That if somebody applied for elementary and they were the top quality person, we would offer them that position.
The jobs we have the hardest time filling are upper level math, science, and special education. And so those are gonna, just by the nature of the job, be at the secondary level. You know, so that's how those folks were, in a lot of instances, the only applicants we had
Okay.
for those positions.
Yeah, to me, it makes sense. I don't see an issue.
Okay, oh, I'm sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, apologize.
No, that's about it. I guess I had a couple more questions just for clarification, but obviously, if it works, we'll continue this process probably next year, right?
Well, I think we need to evaluate it and see what we're getting. I guess one of the things that concerns me is the board's directive was to diversify our teacher population, which I thoroughly agree with. The other part of that was to mirror the composition of our students. To my knowledge, we don't have any Filipino students. So I think while hopefully these people will fill a role for us, and we may need to get some more, but I really think we need to be looking at getting more African American and more Hispanic teachers to make that our priority, but still keeping applicants like these folks, in mind if we don't have qualified applicants.
So
Or if they're not the most qualified applicant, I guess would be what I was.
Yeah. On a side note, do you think that do you see other opportunity to, not just with the Philippines, but maybe other countries and other cultures, as far as the Grow Your Own program? It seems like that's having some positive results.
Well, the Grow Your Own program is with our own kids.
Yeah,
We're gonna be
our
working
district.
we have a meeting getting scheduled with Teach USA and other companies to say, are there other demographic areas that we can be reaching into other than the Philippines, other places? So
Okay.
again, that's kind of separate from this particular issue, and we can bring that to you.
Yeah.
And I really believe that we didn't go after seeking these people? Someone didn't, what, do I understand it right, that
We
someone
had
saw it on
employee
an
from the- We had
Indeed?
an employee from the Philippines last year, and then somebody saw it posted and
Right,
decided to reach
and
out.
encouraged other,
We pay these people directly, we don't pay an organization.
right, no, we
Correct.
pay them
Okay.
directly, yeah. They're just like every other
Okay.
teacher that's hired.
I'm already sold on this, but to me, I just looked at this as an opportunity to ask a couple other questions. As far as if it does work, how do we expand it? And what other sectors do we reach out to?
Yes. And
I'd
we
like
can
to
bring,
see us
and we
get
can bring that back to you as we
Yeah.
evaluate it.
Yeah.
African teachers and even.
If you can
from
find anybody who
South
wants to speak
America.
two keys, that would be fantastic,
Yeah.
because that's
If
our
we could
biggest
get-
challenge,
If we
two
can get 3 or
keys.
4 Chiquis
Chiquis?
teachers, that'd be grand.
That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
it-
Okay, I would entertain a motion if,
Just,
oh, okay, go right
well,
ahead.
I really think it probably should be 2 motions. One, to
Okay.
approve the job description, to approve the job
Okay.
first, and then to approve the salary schedule that we want to put them on.
Okay, so entertain a motion to approve the job.
Job description.
Job description,
as
I'm sorry.
presented, yeah.
I'll make a motion.
Okay,
Right, With Mr. Foster.
yes, and a second,
I'll second that.
Rick
Mr.
seconded.
Gilmore.
Okay,
And anything else about the job description?
My only concern, I'm like you, I feel better having a little bit more finite time. Not that these people don't need support and I want us to provide that support. But this goes way above and beyond what we support any of our first-year teachers. So I just want to keep,
Do you want to add a friendly amendment
I
that
think that'd be
says
fine.
to
Yeah.
revisit it at the end of this school year in May?
So at the end of the school year,
Would
I'd
that
be okay
be,
with that.
if not before.
yeah, or before, yeah.
Or as needed.
Dr. Kraus, when do you think it should be revisited, being HR? Is waiting till May too late, or does it matter with this position?
I certainly wouldn't go any later than May.
Right, so
That's-
maybe,
It's impossible to know.
yeah,
One of them already has been given a car and is seeking his driver's license,
so it could go rather quickly,
Depend on how soon one or more of the others does.
okay?
Well,
So, yeah, Donna, did you hear the friendly amendment that David accepted just to reevaluate this position by the end of the school year?
okay.
Okay. And then, I guess, call for the vote?
Yes, that's provision in here. Okay, Ms. Pasley,
Yes.
Mr. Gilmore,
Yes,
Ms. Witham,
yes,
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Okay, then I would entertain a motion to approve the salary as being, Dr. Van Zyl, did you say range
Range
two?
two, the 16,
Step
47.
7, the $16.47 an hour?
I'd suggest you just say range 2, because if the salary schedule changes,
Okay, just
Yeah,
range
just-
2,
Yeah,
Donna.
yeah.
Okay, do I have a motion to place them on range 2 of the salary schedule for support staff?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, that
Mr.
was,
Foster,
and a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Gilmore.
Okay, Ms. Pasley,
Yes.
Mr. Gilmore,
Yes,
Mr. Foster,
Yes.
Ms. Witham.
yes,
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Okay, second.
second,
So made by Rick, seconded by Lori. All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, Donna.
Thanks, Donna,
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Donna.
Yeah.